House of David Season 2 isn't just a biblical drama, it's a full-blown emotional earthquake. 8 episodes, 10 unforgettable characters, and a story packed with betrayal, prophecy, romance, political chaos, and spiritual warfare. This season didn't just deepen the world, it blew it wide open. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, and today we're breaking down the top 10 most important characters who shaped everything. The warriors, the prophets, the schemers, the kings, and the future king who changed Israel forever. These are the characters whose choices shook the throne, tore families apart, ignited wars, and pushed God's plan forward, whether they wanted it or not. And trust me, by the time we reach number 1, you'll see the entire season in a whole new light. So grab your seat, hit that like button, and let's dive straight into the breakdown of the 10 powerhouses who defined House of David Season 2.
You missed much of the battle, King.
Achish, king of Gath. Achish begins Season 2 burdened by disgrace. The Philistine king faces not just strategic setbacks, but a deeply personal war. His kingdom's honor left tarnished after Goliath fell. As revealed in the early episodes, flashbacks flesh out the origins of his all-consuming pursuit for vengeance. But Achish is no brute. He's calculating, a monarch who understands the subtleties of power. In Gath, he navigates political intrigue with his priests and advisors, trying to unify the Philistines against the threat that David now poses. His strategic importance lies in being the external hammer. While Israel wars with itself, Achish threatens from the outside. He doesn't want mindless revenge so much as the restoration of Philistine pride. This layered threat makes him more dangerous than a one-dimensional villain, and by the season's end, he's a potent symbol of what Saul could become.
I know I am not the one you chose, but I will make this the right choice.
Merab, the Forgotten Princess. Merab's arc in Season 2 is subtle but deeply impactful. As Saul's older daughter, she carries past wounds. In Season 1, she was promised to David, only for Saul to revoke that and give her sister Michal instead. Urban Bridge's preview describes her as longing to be seen for more than her looks and royal status. In Episode 2, A Journey Home, her emotional conflict becomes central. She is at once part of the palace, yet estranged. At court, she's forced to balance loyalty to her unstable father and her lingering love for David, a love she never got to fully claim. Her scenes with Michal, though limited in recaps, hint at a deep, painful sisterhood weaponized by court politics. Merab doesn't grab the throne. She doesn't lead armies. But her inner life, her silenced desires, and her moral compromises make her a quietly powerful emotional force, a representation of daughters whose fate is decided by men.
Think of it, Father. He slayed the giant. God has...
Eshbal, the ambitious prince. Eshbal's story in Season 2 feels like the heart of a brewing civil war. According to the Prime Video episode guide, he weds a tribal leader's daughter in Episode 3, The Middle Path, opening new diplomatic opportunities for David. This is important. Eshbal isn't a reckless schemer. He's politically aware, craving power, but also believing in a different future for Israel. As you said, he genuinely thinks Saul's fixation on David is tearing the kingdom apart, while his mother Ahinoam backs many of his ambitions. As per his character description, Eshbal is not just a pawn, he's a player. In Season 2, his arc, secret deals, ideological tension, and betrayal. He may not have the same moral center as Jonathan, but his conviction that Israel needs new blood makes him dangerously earnest.
You are the reason he banished my mother.
I'm not a liar. I'm not a threat. God chose me.
Michael, love in a time of civil war. Michael in Season 2 is more than just David's bride. Indy Lewis, who plays her, is described in press coverage as someone who has learned to weaponize her love for survival. Her marriage to David is political, a chess move by Saul, and she knows it. As David's influence grows, she's caught in the crossfire between her husband, her father, and her mother. Episode recaps show her in moments of vulnerability, watching David, reacting to Saul's rage. Michael's transformation by the end of the season is significant. She starts as a romantic ideal, but becomes a survivor, protective of David even when his ascent threatens her family. Her emotional intelligence, knowing when to support, when to betray, makes her one of the most complicated players in the court.
I banished my own son to protect
Ahinoam, the real power behind the throne. Queen Ahinoam, played by Ayelet Zuzer, is one of the most cunning characters in Season 2. According to Urban Bridges, she's polished, clever, and vicious if need be, fiercely protective of her family and of the power they wield. Her machinations are everywhere. She arranges marriages, cultivates relationships with priests, and subtly undermines Samuel's influence. In Episode 6, Forged in Fire, she pushes Saul towards a dangerous plan. She wants David eliminated, or at least contained, to preserve her children's future. But Ahinoam's power also crumbles. In the same episode, her plan backfires. Saul's paranoia skyrockets, and in a moment of cruel betrayal, he banishes her. The woman who seemed untouchable loses her grip, revealing how fragile even the most formidable power can be.
Protect the king!
Abner, the general who holds Israel together. Abner, Oded Fair, is the military backbone of Saul's kingdom, and in a way, its moral compass. From the very start of Season 2, his loyalty to Saul is tested in multiple ways. Episode recaps hint that he's not blindly following. He's deeply pragmatic. He leads campaigns, guides David and Jonathan, and has his doubts. Recaps mention that in The Middle Path, Episode 3, his loyalty begins to falter. In one of the darkest spiritual confrontations, Abner even leads men to Endor in search of forbidden knowledge, showing his desperation and conflict. His relationship with David is slow burn. Respect grows, even as Abner wonders what will happen when David's destiny overtakes Saul's reign. He is not naive, but he hopes for a future where war doesn't consume the people he's charged to protect.
God is not mocked!
Samuel, the voice of God walking among men. Samuel remains central in Season 2. He's not a passive prophet, he's a wild, unpredictable force. In the finale, Episode 8, he confronts Saul in a spiritual showdown. As guards collapse, Samuel demands prophecy, and Saul experiences a terrifying vision. Samuel's prophetic power is draining. Articles mention his shaking hands and the physical cost of delivering heavenly judgment. While I don't see nosebleeds specifically in press recaps, his age and frailty are recurrent themes. His eventual fate is heartbreaking. In the finale, after delivering his prophecy, he bleeds and dies while being held by Hela. Samuel's death is not just a plot point, it's the spiritual turning point of the season. His legacy sets the stage for the coming chaos.
He's a threat.
David is not the threat, Father!
You son of...
Jonathan, the heart of the entire series. Jonathan Ethan Kai remains Season 2's moral core. From early episodes, we see him training David, healing from his wounds, and struggling with his future. One of his deepest arcs comes via Sarah, introduced in Episode 2. They form a bond in the healer's chambers. Later in Episode 7, Sarah reveals a life-changing secret. She's pregnant. Jonathan vows to protect the child, even professing that he might leave Gibeah forever to raise it safely out of the political bloody mess. This is huge. His child, by blood, has a more legitimate claim than David's future heirs, meaning Jonathan's own legacy could destabilize everything. He's not in it for power. He's in it for love, duty, and protection. His sacrifices, emotional and physical, make him perhaps the most tragic and noble figure of the season.
Betray the God who anointed you!
No!
Saul, the tragic king. Season 2 doesn't just show King Saul's power, it shows his unraveling. Ali Suleiman, Saul, delivers a performance that critics say is both terrifying and heartbreaking. In episode 6, Forged in Fire, his paranoia peaks. He orders David to destroy a Philistine forge and kill 100 enemies, driven by fear of losing control. Ahinom's schemes, his mistrust of Samuel, and his internal torment make him unpredictable. But the most devastating moment comes in the finale. When Samuel delivers his prophecy, Saul sees a vision of David crowned as king. Saul's kingship, once full of promise, is collapsing. He knows what's coming and suffers deeply. He's fighting not just David, but his own soul. Saul's tragedy is that he began as Israel's first king, but ends up a man haunted by his own choices. His loss of control, his emotional volatility, and his spiritual downfall make him tragically human.
God chose me.
David, the shepherd who became a legend. Of course, at the top is David, Michael Eskinder. Season 2 begins with him riding high after Goliath's fall, but that victory marks just the beginning of a far more treacherous journey. David's rise is not easy. He's welcomed into Saul's court, but he's never safe. According to episode summaries, he's forced to lead men, fight political battles, and prove his loyalty while hiding his true anointment. He's deeply bound to Jonathan. Their bond remains one of the emotional pillars of the story. He's also tested spiritually. In episode 5, God of Swords, he and Abner go to Endor, meeting a blacksmith and witch, offering dangerous tools and darker truths. By the finale, David's leadership potential is undeniable. In the final confrontation, soldiers kneel before him, and he must make a choice about where to go next. But his journey isn't just about power, it's about trust, faith, and the cost of destiny. He prays in caves, he writes, or at least reflects, in his heart, and he carries the weight of a people even when he's not yet king. David is the compass of the show. His choices, his heart, and his faith ripple out and affect every other character. He's not just the most powerful, he's the most human.
In my destiny!
Our nerdy thoughts. These 10 characters drive House of David Season 2, not just through their actions, but through the emotional and spiritual weight they carry. Their loyalties, betrayals, fears, and hopes shape the course of Israel's future. If I had to pick, David remains the central axis, but characters like Jonathan and Samuel give the story its moral backbone, while Saul and Ahinom supply the tragedy and tension. Which character's journey hit you hardest this season? Whose decisions do you think will matter the most going forward? Let me know and I can help pick potential arcs for Season 3 or make a video script predicting future twists.
Now what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.